This is Pod Strangely Warmed, a place where we tell the good Methodist story, where we have conversations that invite followers of Jesus to seek after that loving, just, and free world that God imagines for us all, and have a little fun along the way. Welcome back, Pod Strangely Warmed family. I'm Daniel Hawkins here in the studio, and we're here for a special edition of the pod. As many of you know, the big game that shall not be named is coming up this weekend, and we are here looking at how we can celebrate that big game in our most best way possible. That's not a great way to say that, but you heard it, so here we are. Today with me on the podcast, I've got Matt Ybanez, the neighboring pastor at First United Methodist Church in Hurst. Matt is disappointingly not wearing his Happy Birthday Jesus sweater today.
Don't wear it all the time.
I know. Is it every day Jesus' birthday? Is he born anew in somebody's heart somewhere?
Yes.
Okay.
That's our prayer, at least.
That's our prayer. Absolutely.
For sure.
And Reverend Anne-Marie Berg from First Methodist in Colleyville, thank you for making the drive in and being here with us. As you may not know, Anne-Marie is the biggest Swiftie in all of the Central Texas Conference, or so her friends or people who used to be her friends have told us. and so we're thankful that you are here. And today we've got a camera on Dustin. Say hi, Dustin.
Oh, hi, I'm here.
Yeah. Today, to help us celebrate this big game that shall not be named, we are going to do a big game essentials draft, where we try to name some things that are essential to our experience, right? And we're going to set some baselines, right? We're going to draft 5 different things. Each one of us is going to participate. We're going to draft a beverage, a food, company to be with, like a community to be in the presence of, a location, and then wild card. Wild card can be anything you want as a part of this experience. And after we're done, Dustin's going to make graphics with all of our stuff on a thing, and people are going to vote to see who got the best Super Bowl experience in the midst of this. And so I'm excited about this. Y'all look slightly terrified.
No, I'm ready to go.
You're ready. All right. Matt's
I just
been
want to
prepping.
know, how did you determine a draft order? Did you just decide what it is, or is it like random, or did you just... I feel like I've already been jilted.
Fixed. That's what he said.
I've got
That's
it
fixed.
Yeah. It is in my head. I just made it up, and we're going to start with Dustin.
That feels right. That feels right.
Yeah.
Oh, why would we start with me?
We're going to start with you because and then we're going to go this way.
You know, the first
and then
round
we're going to go back
pick
around.
always loses, right? This is a competition?
Yeah, it is a competition.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just
The
making
first
sure.
pick always loses. That's why Dustin's going first. Yeah.
I know what I'm doing.
Right. So we are going to look at beverage, right? What is your big game essential beverage?
Oh, this is actually good because I was pretty sure I was going to lose this one at a table of people who spend a lot of time in Waco. Most of y'all, yeah. It's going to be Dr. Pepper.
Get
Ooh,
out of here.
Nice.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to
Yeah.
drink the whole time.
Matt's already sad.
I know.
Good job.
I was going to be sad. But
Okay, so I want to say for our viewers / listeners at home, I asked if this was aspirational or something I had to back up with my resources, and I was told no, it can be whatever I want. So I would like a slushy machine.
Ooh.
So
nice.
constant slushies during the Super Bowl or big game, rather.
Okay.
I think is the one.
But I guess now, how particular are we going to be? Can you have a Dr. Pepper flavored slushy? That is a little ambiguous, right?
no, she can't.
I'm gonna go.
can't.
Okay, all right, that's fair. I'm gonna go for classic Coke then.
Okay. Slushy machine, Dr. Pepper. As a Waco boy, that does hurt my heart. You know that. Now, I haven't had a soda in 6 years, so it doesn't hurt it that bad. But
Wow.
That's not relatable.
It's impressive.
It's it's not relatable. No, that's all right. Matt, where are you?
All right.
In the midst of this.
I was going to go with a Diet Dr. Pepper from Sonic with cherry and vanilla, but if I can't do that, then the next one is obviously going to be a Topo Chico.
Ooh, okay.
That's
very
pretty
nice.
Cool, crisp, mineral water.
Okay. I'm channeling Anne-Marie here, right? We are being aspirational in this. I am taking the wall of tea at HTO so that at different points
Oh, that's
in
a
the
really good
game,
one.
I can make different selections and kind of have a flavor that goes along with it there. All right. So just to recap, right? We've got Dr. Pepper with Dustin. Anne-Marie, you've got a slushy machine, which is pretty epic first choice.
Thank you.
Matt, you've got Topo Chico. Classic. And then we've got the wall of HTO.
I think it's crazy that 3 of us would have taken Dr. Pepper.
Right.
Oh yeah,
That's
I was on my
crazy,
list
right?
too. Yeah.
it's not that crazy. We're in Texas.
Yeah,
Yeah, but of all the things that one could drink,
Well, I was surprised sweet tea made it to this point.
That's true.
Yeah.
But it has to be
You also
good
picked-
sweet tea.
Well, that's true.
You picked water on the last time we did this.
No, I picked coffee.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Coffee for the Super Bowl?
No,
Or
for the
excuse me,
Sunday
the
morning
big game.
For Sunday morning
Okay,
essentials,
okay.
I picked coffee.
I'm gonna edit this part out, so don't worry about it.
All right, round 2. This is a snake draft. We didn't make that clear as we got going. So the way it works is you go 1 through 4 and then 4 through 1 back. And so I got the last pick in the first round. I'll get the first pick in the second round. Food. After my own heart. This is so interesting. I didn't plan on having the first pick in this round. I was going to riff off of everybody else. But as somebody who can't do pizza and can't do dairy or gluten, it's a bad life at the Hawkins house right now. I'm going chips and salsa with guac.
That's good. That's a solid pick.
Nothing wrong with that.
That's a
Yeah,
solid.
chips, salsa, and guac. Matt, what you got?
I'm going to go with jalapeno poppers.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Jalapeno
That's the way to
poppers,
go.
nice. Behind the curtain just a little bit, Matt makes incredible homemade tortilla chips. He doesn't tell very many people
that's
this.
good to know.
It's
But
secret.
at the last
It's
fantasy
secret.
football
It's a
draft,
secret
brought
on the
them, and
podcast.
they
Not
were
secret anymore.
amazing. Probably should have taken your chips and salsa, but that's all right.
It was fun. Yeah.
It's good. They're good.
Thank
Claim
you.
it. Own
Appreciate
it.
that.
It's all
Thank you.
good.
Could have brought them today. That's a
I
missed
know.
opportunity.
That's what we're missing. Our snack. Oh, that's all right.
That's a different podcast, probably too.
Probably. Right.
If it's my choice, I'm going to make the right decision, which is wings.
Ooh.
That's the
okay.
correct move.
Yeah.
That's the classic
Yeah.
choice.
Particular flavor or just all the wings?
I mean, I like as many as they'd give me, but you can't go wrong with like classic buffalo. That feels right.
I was going to ask how spicy, like atomic death wings or.
I think you need at least a few like mild in there, so everybody can enjoy the big game. But you also you never know what kind of competitions might arise, and so you probably do need some super spicy ones too.
Nice. Dustin, what about you?
Wings was gonna be my first choice, so okay.
Sorry.
You're welcome.
But as a big SNL fan, I think Totino's pizza rolls is the correct answer.
That's classic.
Nice. All right. So Dr. Pepper and Totino's pizza rolls.
Oh, yeah.
Dustin is either in college
Yes.
or watching the big game. One of the two. Living his best life either way. and it's great.
Which game is this again?
Right.
The big one.
The big one.
Who's playing?
The biggest, grandest, not the Lions. Sorry, Joy Dister Dominguez. All right. So recapping. Dustin, you've got Dr. Pepper and pizza
Totino's
rolls.
pizza roll.
Anne Marie, you have the
Wings and a slushy machine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Matt, you've got.
Jalapeno poppers and Topo Chico.
All right. I've got the wall of tea and all the chips and salsas and guacs. Pretty good. Here we go. Round 3. Dustin, you've got the first pick in the draft. We are looking at company. And we're not talking like Twitter or Facebook or whatever. We're talking about who do you want to be in the presence of for the big game?
I've only watched the Super Bowl with this guy the last 2 years, I think. But he does not care what team is playing, and he gets super excited about it. And it's Chris Smith, my wife's cousin's husband. So he just loses his mind every time anybody does anything on screen. And it's hilarious.
Does Chris have a big following on annual conference social media channels?
No, I don't even think he's
You're going to put his
Methodist.
picture on this graphic, and people are like, "Who's he?"
No, I'm not going to do that. But,
You're not going to do that for him?
No.
Oh, okay.
but he's fun.
Okay, good. All right. A dud of a pick to start the round. Sorry, Chris. No, I'm teasing. Anne Marie, who are you going to be with as you appreciate the big game?
Okay, well, this is aspirationally. I'm gonna go with Mama Kelsey.
Oh,
Okay,
nice.
she knows all and sees all, and I want to know her commentary.
That doesn't put you at the game. You realize that.
I don't have to be at the game, to be totally honest with you. I'd rather get her perspective.
There's a real risk of Jason Kelsey being in the same place. And based on the last couple of games experience, that may or may not be a tragic experience for those around
True,
him.
true.
But Mama Kelsey would be pretty good. Okay. Matt, how about you? Who do you want to be with?
My closest friends and family. I'll be with my people.
Okay.
That's where I want to be.
Okay. So just to clarify, I need a ruling on behalf of everybody else in the room. When you say my people, as vaguely as you say that,
I know it's not fair.
does that mean none of the rest of us can be with your people, or none of the rest of us can claim our people? Like, can none of us say
That one.
my people too? That one? Okay.
I think you can't do it because Matt's already claimed it.
I mean,
Okay.
yeah, I you can try to change the rules like as we're going here, which is like a fun game for the leader to play. But
Right.
you know, yeah,
Hey,
I see what's going on here.
It's the joy
I
of
see what's
power, right?
happening
Okay,
here. Uh-huh.
so you've claimed your people, which also excludes my people, right? So now all of a sudden I'm not with my people. Okay. I can't be with Chris Smith. I can't be with Mama Kelsey. I can't be with my people. If the Cowboys were in the Super Bowl, my assigns would be the obvious choice here, right? Just for the sheer energy and excitement and joy and passion in the room. I was counting on my people being available, and because who's going to
never
claim
know.
my people, right? But good choice.
That's
of
why we
words,
draft.
right? That's why we draft.
why we
That's
draft.
the way it happens. I am going to say that I want to be in the presence of Jerry Jones as he watches other people succeed again and again, and I hopefully inspire him to have the Cowboys turn into something.
I see you
what
like
a
offering him
painful
pastoral
experience for
care.
you.
In
Right,
that.
right. So I'm either a jerk or the pastoral care person, right?
Right.
Matt interpreted it as, what a turd you are. And Anne Marie, with a good heart, says, oh, you're going to give him pastoral care in the midst of this. Yes.
We hope.
We hope.
Yeah.
We hope.
And then I say, who is that?
For an honorable mention,
Okay. Yeah.
I think it would be really fun to sit down and watch that game with like a Tony Romo who
Oh, yeah.
like can see the future as is like, oh, this is about to happen, and then it happens.
That would be really cool.
I think it'd be really fun.
But he's calling the game, isn't he?
Probably.
I think it's a CBS game, so I think he's calling the game. So you'd have to sit in the booth. Now, that'd be kind of cool.
I think it'd be really fun. I think they mute him. I think he just talks, and I think every once in a while there's like, that's enough of that.
That's what Dustin's role is on a week-by-week basis here on the podcast. My lips keep moving, but the camera switches and it gets muted, and we just keep moving. But, Matt, you bring us to a very interesting thing, right? Because your honorable mention of Tony Romo took us to the place of location, which is our next round here. Where do you want to watch the game from? I want to watch the game from the Kelsey family box at the Super Bowl, right? Now I'm dragging Jerry Jones along, so who knows what that experience is going to be like. But I think it'd be really cool. And as a dad to a 13-year-old, I would be the coolest dad of all time if by joy of proximity, Taylor makes it back from Japan in time to be there for the big game. So
She's
I'm
got
picking
plenty
that
of
box.
time to get back.
Okay,
It's like a full day. She's gonna be fine.
perfect.
It's a long flight.
Right?
She can make it.
Okay.
She can-
She
She can
do
make it.
anything.
Okay.
Everybody's
So I got
proven.
the box.
The flight goes like back in time. I've watched a lot of TikTok.
It's 17 hours back in time.
I have not done the research. I am just worst case scenario. The food is going to be good in the box, and the view is going to be pretty good. That's the worst case scenario. Best case scenario, it's really fun. Or I'm the creepy guy standing in the corner going, "Who brought this guy? Why is he here?"
Why does he want to pray for me?
He's offering us tax deductions for different. Yeah, he's trying to sell us on all kinds of gifts to help children. What's the deal? It's in the name of Jesus. Come on. Anyway, yeah, Matt, where do you want to watch
The big game.
the big game?
I've thought a lot about this, and I think that there is an incredible feeling and experience of being at a live game. I actually got to go to my first Cowboys game was Cowboys Lions.
Oh,
which was a
nice.
couple weeks ago.
Oh, man,
yeah,
that
it was,
one.
It was
Yeah, the
it was
2-point
awesome.
conversion
It was
game.
awesome. That was and it was fun. It was electric. There's nothing quite like being at a live game. However, to be somewhere with a ginormous screen to see every little detail as close as you want to be to the action, like if you really want to watch the game, right? So I think aspirationally, I just want to be in a movie theater with the loungers. Now all my people are around me.
Right.
There's food
And
in front
apparently
of me.
my people too.
Yeah, all the people. All the people.
So IMAX or
Oh yeah, yeah,
Okay.
wrapped around, just
the whole thing.
ginormous screen.
That's
all the
awesome.
audio, yeah.
Okay.
That's the one I want.
That's nice.
Good.
Anne Marie.
Well, that's what I was gonna take. So y'all can tell me if this plays by the rules. So I'm envisioning like an outdoor movie theater situation, like in a backyard. Is
Okay.
that too close, or does that count?
No, I
No,
think
that's
is it big enough to annoy the neighbors? Right.
Aspirationally, yes. Yes,
Okay.
it is.
Then yeah, go for it. Yeah. Okay. Dustin, where are you watching the big game? Remember, you're not just picking for you; you're picking for Chris. And
No,
he
I know. I was
There's
thinking about
pressure
that.
here. You want to do right.
Because my first thought was where I've watched most of the other games, which is the youth room because I'm running tech for it.
Okay. Yeah.
But I mean, probably just my house.
Okay.
Yeah, on my couch, enjoying the commercials. Because
Are you going to aspirationally put a 100-inch TV on the wall or anything in the midst of that here?
that's a lot of work.
Okay.
Like I have to put the 100-inch TV. So
But it's aspirational. You can just blink
Blink
your
and
eyes and it's there.
okay,
Video wall. Video wall.
that's what
illuminated.
everybody says to the tech people. It just shows up, right?
But it doesn't.
It doesn't. That's how this podcast works, right? I
Those
talk.
mics just showed up.
it-
Yeah.
Just gonna be at the house watching Chris watch the game. That sounds weird, but that's what it is.
There you go. There you go. All right. You've given us half a recap. Give us your whole recap.
Oh,
Beverage, food. who you're
Dr.
with,
Pepper, Totino's Pizza Rolls from SNL, and Chris Smith watching the game at the house.
more. Okay. You got a vibe.
Yeah,
It's a good vibe. It's got a college vibe to it. but
Yeah,
it's,
it does.
It's a vibe. All right. Anne-Marie, remind us where you are as we get ready to go into the wild card round.
Okay, I have got a slushy machine and all the wings we can eat. I'm with Mama Kelsey, and we're in a backyard movie theater situation.
Okay.
Nice. I've got a cold, crisp Topo Chico. Got some jalapeno poppers. Got all my people around, and we're laid back, lounging in a movie theater
Nice.
on an IMAX screen.
Okay. I'm in the Kelsey family suite without Mama Kelsey, sadly, at the Super Bowl with the wall of HTO, all the chips and salsa and guac, and Jerry Jones silently crying in the corner. All right, so you got a sense of each one of our
lot of pros
vibes.
and
Which
cons,
one of them
yeah.
feels? I wonder as we get into this last round, which one feels like our community here, right? They'll get a chance to vote, and so it'll be interesting to see how this works and how this goes. We'll kind of get to see what do good Methodists want to embody. I'm guessing they're all slightly confused as to what is happening right now. I thought
Which
this
big game are we talking about?
right.
Yeah.
That's true. That's true. It could be Super. It could be Rose. It could be any number of games. We don't know.
That's right. That's right.
All right. So as we go into the last round, we're to wild card. This could be anything. Dustin, I think we're back to you.
We've named everything. I don't know.
Do you want to forfeit and go last and
Yeah,
let
I'll go
Anne-Marie
last
go first?
for sure.
Okay. Anne-Marie first. In the wild card, this could be anything. And you have already utilized well your ability to aspire, right?
Yes.
To find an essential. So what is your wild card?
Okay, I think the true essential is having your post-game conversation about which commercial was the best. That's essential.
Okay. Perfect. Any guesses coming in based on having scouted many big games before as to what companies typically have the best commercials?
I feel like you get a lot of good ones from Doritos,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and Google usually has like some that pull at your heartstrings in a weird kind of way that I'm
In
into as
weird
a
ways.
pastor.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm interested to see.
I once did a whole sermon series beginning the week after the Super Bowl on the commercials.
Yeah.
In a town of 500 people, none of which watched the Super Bowl. It was amazing. 24-year-old Daniel, who couldn't preach a lick, really nailed that one. It was a gift.
So good.
Now, I have no idea what the sermon was about, but the commercial that still is in my mind from that year was the monster.com. Remember, that was the website that helped you find a job, right? And in the whole thing, they had this moose head on the wall, right? I was in country setting, so it really kind of fit in that moment. They had this moose head sticking out of the wall, and then they panned through the wall, and you could see the rest of the moose. So instead of being just a taxidermied moose head, it's an actual moose whose job was to stick its head through the thing and be there. And it's like, we can find the right job just for you, or something like that. And I probably tied it to spiritual gifts or something like that. It was really
Amazing.
cringy, but okay. So what is the best commercial, right? That's a great conversation and really interesting week by week by week. Matt, where are you? What is your wild card?
It's got to be the halftime show.
Okay.
It's the Foo Fighters. It's Dave Grohl. It's
Okay.
loud, and it's in my movie theater.
Oh,
right down
nice.
front.
So you're moving.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's got to be
Okay.
halftime.
I don't know if you claim her as one of your people, but if you have Dave Grohl in your movie theater, Sarah Roberts is coming to your party. She's crashing it no matter what, because the Foo Fighters are her people, and she doesn't care about the football either. So it'll be great. My wild card is the little sheet that most like FanDuel and a lot of those places put together. It's the prop bet sheet. Right? We don't gamble. We're not endorsing gambling. This is an annual conference podcast. Please don't gamble. It hurts a lot of people. But we turned that little sheet into a contest in our house. And so prop bets are those things that you say, who's going to score the first touchdown, right? Which player is going to get the most yards receiving? How long is the national anthem going to go? Over under of 67 seconds. Or, it's 20 different things that are all random and may happen during the day. It's kind of like your bracket for March Madness, right? Anybody can participate. Having any sense of how football works is really immaterial, right? Our 8-year-old won last year. It was great.
So good.
But it is one of our favorite experiences there. And making Jerry do it along with everybody else in the Kelsey suite as we have the wall of tea sounds really fun. So it's the prop bet sheet. It works. All right, Dustin. We've given you enough time. You've even had time to consult with Vance if you wanted to, but you want to call in a lifeline?
No, I have a good one.
Okay.
So I'm a big board gamer, and one of my favorite card games is a Monopoly Deal, because I love Monopoly as well. And there's a just say no card in that game. And I want to be able to just say no to anything that happens in the Super Bowl. I have control over one thing, and I can just, nope, that's not the way it went. And then like an instant replay, like a
Doesn't that kind of make you the
anything like
executive
that.
producer? Like,
Of the Super Bowl, sure. But yeah, like
Kind of makes him God.
Right.
yeah.
I did not say that. Yikes. But no, yeah, I think that's I don't even care about I don't know who's
So you're
playing,
rooting
but-
for Pat Mahomes and the Chiefs because it produces the moment that could be the Kelsey T Swift engagement moment at the end of the game, right? We won the game, woohoo! Yeah, no, that would be epic, by the way, wouldn't it?
That
Yeah,
would be
It's terrible, wouldn't it?
Well,
Depends on why you're watching, I guess.
right, if it turned from a yay into no, not quite ready for that yet, right?
Unlikely, probably though.
Unlikely.
I'm thinking
yes.
unlikely.
Unlikely. Okay, so you want to know? Just say no.
Yeah.
So I guess your team is not going to. If Chris's team
That is a
going to
wildly-
lose on a last second thing and it's going to make him super sad, just say no.
It's disruptive and devious. That's what the just say no
yeah,
card is.
yeah. Or like if I saw it and I was like, no, it should have done that. Like I get to say that now.
Okay.
So
If the Coke commercial is better than the Dr. Pepper commercial, just say no. We're going to make that bet.
yeah, sure.
Okay. So let's recap the whole draft here. We've got an amazing collection of stuff. Each of us has our own very distinct vibe to what this thing is. Dustin is at his house with his brother's, cousin's, mother's, friend's person named Chris.
Yeah.
Watching the game with Dr. Pepper and Totino's pizza roll, ready just to go, nope,
Yeah.
not happening.
Yep.
Okay, perfect. Anne Marie, you got the backyard oasis with the giant movie screen with Mama Kelsey, enjoying all the slushies and the wings, right? You got the cold
right.
and the heat, and it's a whole vibe and spirit. All right, very good. Matt, you got the movie theater, and you've got the movie theater that's going to be so loud that like people are going to walk down the hallway and go, what is happening in there? Because you got all your people. You've got the Foo Fighters in the whole halftime show, right?
Yep.
You got the IMAX screen. And remind me, what are you eating? What are you drinking?
Topo Chico.
Oh,
Drinking
yes.
Topo Chico, and then the jalapeno poppers.
Okay. Is the Topo Chico like the most chill piece of your entire setup? Right? The whole setup is kind of loud, and the Topo Chico is like classy.
Yeah. It's
Simple.
It's relaxing. It is
Yeah.
very chill, and I think that it is the most chill part of the whole deal.
Okay. I don't know if mine has a chill part. Mine's a little absurd, but it sounds like fun. And thank you, Anne Marie, for clarifying that we could be aspirational here, right?
Well, you
So-
want to throw a good party.
Yeah, you want to have a good party. So I'm going to be in the Kelsey family box at the Super Bowl with Jerry Jones, having the whole wall of tea and all the chips, salsa, guac, and things. And we're going to make sure that everybody fills out their prop bet card so that we can play a goofy game that the youngest and oldest among us can have a chance to win. And likely Jerry Jones will lose just because that's the pattern.
Wow.
But let us know which part of which one of our vibes is your vibe. And if we're all trash, tell us that in a kind way. Because remember, we're good Christians here. And let us know what your Super Bowl aspirational essentials or big game aspirational essentials are. I hope this has been fun for you. It's been fun for me. One of the things that is fun about the big game that this kind of whole exercise is built on, right? Whether we could care not a lick about the football part of it or not is that we get to gather people together, right? Whether we're gathering in a movie theater or not, whether we're gathering in the suite or not, whether we really get Mama Kelsey or we just get the cutaways to Mama Kelsey. Right. I do hope you get your food and drink options, right? All of us were relatively realistic in that space. There's, in many ways within our culture, this is one of the things that we do, right? It's a thing that generally gives us joy. It's a thing that we gather together and have fun with, but I think it's one of those things that also kind of in this whole big game weekend lifts up a number of places where, as followers of Jesus, right, who are seeking after the loving, just, and free world that God imagines for all people, can also highlight some like moments of privilege or some moments where we are blind to injustice that may be in our midst, right? Little things that pop up along the way, right? The displacement of unhoused persons, right, in the Super Bowl host city, human trafficking that spikes during the big game weekend, right? These issues, civic funding, right, in many cities that are often underfunded for the most basic needs of the people around them, right? That funding getting diverted to make sure that this big public stage is the best it can possibly be. And it's not just the big game. It happens all over the place, right? The Olympics are a chief offender in this, right? You remember when Russia was hosting the Winter Olympics several years ago, right? The tragic and humorous story that came out of, Putin ordering all the stray dogs killed in the weeks leading up to, it's one of those places where in service of keeping good public perception, right? Things get sacrificed. Yeah. And Matt, as we were talking, you named, and I had never really considered it this way, and you kind of convicted my heart today, right? That these get-togethers that we have, right? These moments of feasting, right? Yeah. Are an expression of our privilege in and of themselves, right? In some respects. Because we've got an overabundance of our stuff, right? Because is every bit of food eaten at even the best party? Right. No. There's always extra. There's always stuff that gets thrown away. We buy the little paper Super Bowl plate, right, or the football shaped plate.
The vegetable tray.
Fill it with stuff.
Nobody's
right?
ever eaten a vegetable tray,
right?
But we bring it.
And even on our own individual plates, we fill them up and eat 80% or 75% or 50%. Or if you're like one of my children, you have 3 bites of a whole plate full of stuff and set it over here and forget that it exists for the next 2 hours, right? As you guys think of this kind of big game weekend, this thing that's a celebration, right? I mean, y'all are here in part because you care too much about football and you care too much about Taylor Swift. And this is like the epic intersection of these two things within our culture right now. And so as you guys think of the experience of this weekend, what are some places where you're being invited to reflection, right? And what are some of those places where, like, we can't change the whole world, but we can choose to take a step toward that more loving, just, and free world that God imagines for us all. Where is that kind of hitting you as you move into this weekend?
Oh, I'm happy to speak to. Every time we get together for something that's outside of our normal flow of life, I think it asks us to invite the question, who's here and who's not. And I think we see that a lot in events like the Super Bowl. There are people that we hope attend and we hope that we catch glimpses of, including Taylor Swift. And there are people who are going to be displaced because we don't want them seen, right? And I think that's always an important question to ask, especially as followers of Christ. But of course, as someone who is an advocate of Taylor Swift loving, one of the things that I've really been thinking about as this kind of intersection of our pop culture moment is that it really invites a lot of connection across lines that we might not otherwise have engaged in. Yeah. So we have these generations coming up, Gen Z, Gen Alpha, who are among the loneliest that we've ever had, right? And we have this opportunity where different interests that are not normally aligned are intersecting. Yeah. And we have the opportunity to be curious and kind of share what we love with people that we love. And I'm talking to 2 dads of preteens. Right. And like, what a unique opportunity to be able to share this moment in a new way with people you care about.
So I got to tell you, I think often as a dad, my responsibility is to poke and antagonize. And so here's something that you love, and now I'm going to make fun of it. Right. Right. And I think I did that like once, like at the very, very beginning of this whole Travis Kelce, Taylor Swift relationship. About 2-3 weeks into that, my kids were so done with it that I was like, okay, I got to stop or I'm gonna lose my kids.
Yeah.
Right. And I was like, I'm now I'm on board. I'm like, whatever you want. Yeah, sure. Just to not lose that connection. And you know, that for me, I kind of realized, okay, I don't have to poke fun at everything that you love.
Well, and sometimes one of the things that I've enjoyed, because I too, my default first expression was to make a little fun, right? But as I began to go on Sunday afternoons after worship, I am dog tired, right? By the time we get home. And normally that is a time where we kind of all go to our spaces, right? Everybody just kind of disperses to unplug and, you know, unwind a little bit in their own way. And mine is often putting the football game on and just kind of being. But I began to notice that my two oldest would come down, right, and would sit and watch the game with me, and began to ask questions, right? Their curiosity about football was really powerful, and it sparked some curiosity about me. Like, you know, I'm the guy who's more likely to make fun of Taylor Swift. I am not. Anybody who's watched this podcast much or listened to this podcast much knows that pop culture and me don't always see eye to eye, right? Infamous Spider-Man Marvel things from back in the fall, right? But it is creating an opportunity for conversation, right? Abby turned 13 just a couple weeks ago, and we had 9 7th grade girls at our house at one time. It was beautiful, amazing, and loud for about 5 hours, right? But like, because I had leaned in a little bit over the fall, right? That opportunity for connection. We were able to, I was like having a real conversation with some of these kids I know well, and some of them I really don't know well, right? Because they're relatively new in our collective lives. But we had a point to begin a conversation, right? And ask stupid questions like, what's the breakup album look like? And what's the engagement album look like, right? What are the names for that? Because Taylor's got this amazing gift at just naming things well, right? And so that was, it creates that opportunity, right? And it helps us see more fully who's here and who's not here, right? And both in the places of justice, but also in the places of care and community, right, within our spaces as well. Yeah. Matt, as you've reflected on this, where does this meet you? What kind of first impulse do you find yourself having to examine or check?
I'm a person who is constantly aware of usually what is immediately right in front of me. And so for me, the concept of out of sight, out of mind is very true about who I am and just how my attentions are kind of, caught by whatever's right here.
Yeah.
And so I have to force myself to be mindful and be intentionally mindful about what is it that I'm not seeing, what else could be true. Yeah. And so, when we have an opportunity for a feast day like this, to not necessarily think about what's the impact on local communities. You talk about displaced homelessness, you talk about human trafficking. It's that kind of, I can say, well, it's not really directly related to me. But at the same time, I also support the institution that makes it possible, right? And so I'm a willing participant in it, right? Yeah. And so what does that mean for me? And it's not just the big game, but it's the clothes we choose to wear and where they come from, the labor that goes into making your iPhone. It's all those kind of connections that we don't really see how far they reach out into other people's lives and how they impact them for better or for worse.
To go churchy for a second, right? The language that I took a long time to unpack growing up, because you'd hear it, but you didn't know what it meant, was that sense of omission and commission, right? Commission is what we're used to, right? The I actively am engaged in, right? That's the, we're not actively displacing homeless people, right? Or unhoused persons when we are engaging in watching the big game, right? We're not actively engaged in the human trafficking piece here, right? But by omission, we're supporting the thing that is creating the environment in which these struggles are happening, right? And so,
and there's a deep sense, at least I believe, that that salvation of creation, of all creation, doesn't actually include all, and I can't be whole unless my neighbors are whole, and so that kind of, well, it doesn't actually directly impact me, but it does, right?
I think it's a really important exercise in just noticing where is my attention, right? And so often our attention is our biggest resource in changing anything, right? And so noticing those things, even when the big game is on, right? I think can do a lot as people hoping to become more like Christ.
Amen and amen. Thank you both for coming on to have the fun. Dustin, thank you for setting up a camera to look at your beautiful face so that we could see you and not just hear you. And thank you for joining us today on Pod Strangely Warmed. It has been a fantastic time. Let us know, again, in all seriousness, which vibe for our big game experience fits with you, and which one makes you cringe. We'd love to hear and know. We'd also love to hear what is shaping your experience. And also, where is God speaking to you in the midst of this, inviting you to see with greater clarity, not just what is immediately before you, but the wholeness of a situation, the wholeness of what is happening in the world, so that when we see, we then have the opportunity to respond. Until next time, I'm Daniel Hawkins, and this is Pod Strangely Warmed. This has been Pod Strangely Warmed. If you enjoyed our conversation today, know that you can find us anywhere you find podcasts. On Spotify, Apple Podcast, YouTube, any and all the places, we are there. So if you want to continue the good United Methodist conversation that you've been a part of today, find us, like us, rate us, review us, and share with a friend so that the good news that is happening right here in our own midst can amplify even more. Okay, now I got to get your album titles. Right? The breakup album and the engagement album. Right? So just to get mine on record, these were thoroughly labeled as duds by the 13-year-old girls. So know that they've already been judged harshly. So be kind to me. That's really what I'm after here. The breakup album, Kelsey, see you later. Isn't it great?
So good.
So good. Wow. So good.
All right, so the antagonistic side of me would have said something like, anything Taylor Swift, Screaming Goat version. That was the best internet meme that ever happened.
No, I really agree with that.
And I love it. I still listen to it.
87.
However,
Screaming Goat version.
Yeah, that's the one.
Okay. Yeah.
However, I think the breakup album, I think is Reputation, Taylor's version. And I think the engagement album is Reputation, Tay's version. That's what I'm going to go with.
It's interesting. Yeah, I think the breakup album is Fumble, Taylor's version. And
nice.
Then the engagement album is Touchdown the Aisle.
Nice. I want to give a shout out to one of my dad friends. His breakup album was Travesty, Taylor's version.
That's really good, actually.
And then my engagement album, Prenup.
Wow.
I mean,
hey, she's worth billions, he's worth millions. Let's just, clarify that before they ever get started. Mm-hmm. He's got more to gain from this whole thing. And it's actually mystifying in many ways how it came to be. But all right.
Chief offender for breakups.
that's good.
I get it.
That's really
I get
good.
it.